In a world obsessed with wealth, luxury, and jaw-dropping celebrity lifestyles, there exists a rare group of Hollywood stars who choose something far more surprising: simplicity. These A-listers trade mansions for modest homes and fame for authenticity. Today, we reveal the shockingly humble lives of Hollywood's richest, who live like they're poor. Keanu Reeves. In a town built on glitz, ego, and gold-plated lifestyles, Keanu Reeves stands as Hollywood's greatest contradiction, a man worth hundreds of millions who lives like the quiet neighbor down the street. With an estimated net worth of $380 million, the Matrix and John Wick icon could easily surround himself with supercars, private chefs, and palaces. But Keanu has chosen a life carved from humility, heartbreak, and an almost monk-like simplicity. Born in Beirut and raised across multiple cities after his father abandoned the family at age 3, Keanu learned instability before he learned success. His mother worked tirelessly, moving from job to job, city to city, shaping a resilience that would later anchor his gentle, grounded nature. Behind the calm smile lies a man who walked through storms. Most actors never have to face the devastating death of his best friend, River Phoenix, the loss of his partner, Jennifer Syme, and the heartbreak of their unborn child. These tragedies didn't harden him. They humbled him, sharpened his empathy, and made him value presence over possessions. Despite being Hollywood royalty, Keanu refuses to play the part. He lives in a simple Los Angeles apartment instead of a hilltop mega mansion. He drives a Honda Accord, a car so unremarkable it practically whispers, "Don't mind me." And while other A-listers show off their Ferraris on Instagram, Keanu quietly tinkers with motorcycles at Arch, the custom bike company he co-founded out of pure passion, not prestige. Stories of his humility have become legendary. One rainy night in New York, Keanu waited outside in the cold for friends to arrive at his own film's wrap party. No entourage, no ego, no "do you know who I am?" The club owner didn't even recognize him. Keanu simply smiled and kept waiting. His generosity is even quieter. He has donated millions to children's hospitals and cancer research, often anonymously. He famously gifted a massive portion of his Matrix earnings to the film crew, the people Hollywood typically overlooks, because in his words, they're the ones who make the movie happen. Keanu has said that money is the last thing I think about, and you believe him because everything about his life proves it. In an industry addicted to excess, Keanu Reeves reminds the world that true wealth isn't measured in mansions or sports cars, it's measured in character. And if humility were a currency, Keanu would undoubtedly be the richest man alive. Do you think Keanu Reeves is truly poor, or is his modest lifestyle just a choice? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Jennifer Lawrence. In a Hollywood empire built on diamonds, mansions, and designer gowns, Jennifer Lawrence remains one of the industry's most unexpected rebels, a woman who climbed to the top faster than almost anyone in her generation, yet somehow stayed as real, awkward, and delightfully unfiltered as the girl you grew up with. With an estimated net worth of $160 million an Oscar at just 22, and blockbuster success from The Hunger Games to Silver Linings Playbook, Jennifer could have easily embraced the glamorous, extravagant lifestyle of a Hollywood queen. But instead, she chose something far rarer: normalcy. After her explosive rise to fame, the world expected her to move straight into some 15-bedroom mansion dripping in gold and marble. But Jennifer didn't follow the script. She continued living in the same small, 2-bedroom apartment she had before her breakout moment. When she finally upgraded, she didn't pick a palace. She chose a cozy, tasteful home in Beverly Hills, famous only because Jessica Simpson once lived there. Charming. Yes, Over the top, never. Her spending habits tell the same story. Fresh off her Oscar win, she could have bought a yacht, a diamond bathtub, or a pet giraffe Hollywood wouldn't blink. Instead, she splurged on a $25,000 sofa, and she still jokes that it's the most luxurious thing she's ever owned. While other stars compete for attention, with flashy Ferraris, Jennifer drives a Volkswagen EOS, and later a Chevy Volt, a car that practically whispers, "I care about the environment. Thank you." Fashion. She's hilariously indifferent. Jennifer Lawrence is probably the only A-lister bold enough to recycle outfits a crime in Hollywood, and then laugh about it on live TV. She famously said she's happiest in sweatpants, hair, messy pizza in hand, dog by her side. Red carpets make her uncomfortable, not glamorous. And who could forget the iconic Oscar moment where she tripped going up the stairs, and then did it again the following year. Instead of pretending it never happened, she laughed harder than anyone else. Her normal girl energy extends to her home life too. She shops at IKEA, builds her own furniture, and has admitted she struggles with money, not because she's irresponsible, but because she simply doesn't care about fancy things. She's the Oscar winner who could buy the store, but chooses a $50 Billy bookcase and an Allen wrench instead. But Jennifer's biggest flex isn't her simplicity, it's her heart. She founded the Jennifer Lawrence Foundation, supporting Boys and Girls Clubs, Special Olympics, and numerous advocacy groups. She speaks loudly and bravely about gender pay inequality in Hollywood. She puts her wealth where her values are. In a world where fame often builds walls between stars and reality, Jennifer Lawrence remains astonishingly relatable, a superstar who still feels like the girl next door, with a wicked sense of humor, a soft heart, and a spirit untouched by the excess of Hollywood. She could live like royalty, but chooses to live like a real human being. And in today's Hollywood, that might be the most revolutionary choice of all. Leonardo DiCaprio. In a city where fame is measured by mansion sizes and the number of sports cars in your driveway, Leonardo DiCaprio remains one of Hollywood's greatest paradoxes. With an estimated net worth of $300 million as a resume, filled with cinematic giants like Titanic, Inception, and The Revenant, and a career spanning decades, DiCaprio could easily live like a king, surrounded by gold glass and acres of private luxury. But Leo's lifestyle isn't built around excess, it's built around purpose. While many stars flaunt mega estates with 20-car garages, DiCaprio chooses something far more understated. His home in Los Angeles is elegant, but shockingly modest by Hollywood standards. Stylish, classy, but never screaming for attention. It's the kind of place that says, yes, I'm rich, but I don't need to prove it. And though he famously owns a private island in Belize even that wasn't purchased for luxury, it was bought to restore its ecosystem and build the world's first fully sustainable eco-resort. That's DiCaprio in a nutshell. A man who uses wealth like a tool, not a trophy. His cars reflect the same philosophy. Yes, he has owned luxury vehicles, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Audi, but you're far more likely to spot him driving a Tesla or another eco-friendly option than revving a supercar down Sunset Boulevard. Leo doesn't drive to be seen. He drives to make a point. Behind the calm, polished Hollywood persona is an activist fueled by urgency. Through the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, he has raised over $80 million for environmental causes, from saving endangered wildlife to fighting climate change to supporting indigenous communities. While other celebrities collect private jets like trading cards, Leo is on the front lines of environmental battles, speaking at the United Nations, producing documentaries, and supporting dozens of global initiatives. But his frugality isn't just about the planet, it's also about personality. DiCaprio is notoriously private, avoiding flashy displays and tabloids, preferring quiet retreats with close friends over the constant glare of Hollywood nightlife. Even his impressive real estate ventures, including the Malibu house he sold for a cool $10 million profit, are more business than indulgence. At first glance, Leonardo DiCaprio might seem like the typical millionaire actor with an enviable portfolio. But look closer, and you'll see something far more compelling. A man who has turned his fame into fuel for change, his wealth into action, and his platform into one of Hollywood's strongest voices for the planet. In a world obsessed with luxury, DiCaprio shows that the richest life is one lived with purpose, not possessions. Robert Pattinson. In a Hollywood landscape built on spotlight glam squads and the constant pressure to look perfect, Robert Pattinson stands out like a brilliant, brooding glitch in the system. With an estimated net worth of $100 million, Pattinson could live like the Vampire King, millions of Twilight fans, imagined penthouses, exotic cars, diamond-studded everything. But instead, he chose a life that feels almost anti-celebrity. Pattinson's rise to fame was nothing short of explosive. Overnight, the quiet British actor went from relative unknown to global obsession after Twilight hit theaters. His salary skyrocketed from a few $100,000 to $25 to $40 million per film, and by 2011, he was ranking among the highest-paid actors in Hollywood. Later, he cemented his comeback with The Batman, adding millions more to his already impressive fortune. Yet for a man who could own a fortress, Robert Pattinson chose something hilariously humble, a 2001 Chevy Silverado he bought for just $2,100. In a city where cars are status symbols, Pattinson's truck looked like it belonged more on a ranch than Rodeo Drive. And he didn't care, not even a little. His living situation became legendary among fans and insiders. For years, he lived in a small, oddball rental home in Hollywood that one reporter described as a quasi-junkyard. The hot tub didn't work. The pool looked like a frog pond. The decor was a mix of random furniture, thrift store chaos, and whatever was lying around. Pattinson loved it because it was hidden quiet and completely detached from Hollywood's suffocating glitz. When he finally purchased a home, a Spanish-style mini-mansion worth $6.3 million, it wasn't some ultra-modern glass palace. It was cozy, weird, artsy, just like him. And then there's his fashion. If most actors dress like they're auditioning for GQ, Pattinson often looks like he woke up, reached into a dark closet, grabbed whatever touched his hand first, and left the house. Old t-shirts, plaid shirts half-buttoned, jackets from questionable decades, beanies that have seen better days. And somehow, he still looks cool. But the most fascinating thing about Pattinson isn't just the modesty. It's the intentional rejection of the Hollywood blueprint. After Twilight, instead of chasing giant blockbusters, he dove into indie films, gritty, strange art house projects no one expected from a global heartthrob. He didn't chase fame. He chased truth, creativity, and the freedom to experiment. His personality matches his lifestyle, awkwardly, charming, self-deprecating, and refreshingly honest. He jokes about being disorganized, about not taking himself seriously, about the absurdity of fame. He's the rare A-lister who seems completely uninterested in being an A-lister. In an industry built on illusion, Robert Pattinson's greatest twist is that he's real, a millionaire who lives like a wandering artist, a superstar who hides in plain sight, a Hollywood enigma who couldn't care less about Hollywood rules. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds might play razor-smart superheroes and charming rogues on the big screen, but in real life he's shockingly down-to-earth for a man worth $350 million. With blockbuster hits like Deadpool and Free Guy, plus business wins, like selling aviation gin for $610 million, Reynolds could easily live like Hollywood royalty. But instead, he chooses a lifestyle so modest, it almost feels like a punchline, one he'd happily deliver himself. Despite his enormous fortune, Reynolds avoids the flashy excess common in his industry. While other celebs collect exotic cars, he's often spotted driving a simple family SUV, blending in like a regular dad doing school drop-offs. He jokes openly that he doesn't know how to spend his money, and honestly, everyone believes him. At home, Reynolds and his wife, Blake Lively, could afford a massive gilded estate, the kind with its own zip code. Instead, they bought a cozy 3-bedroom farmhouse in the small town of Bedford, New York. Later, they moved to a slightly larger $5.7 million home, but it still feels warm, private, and grounded, more family sanctuary than celebrity palace. Reynolds often says he's happiest far away from the Hollywood spotlight, surrounded by his wife and 3 daughters. But the real magic of Ryan Reynolds lies in his personality. He's the king of self-deprecating humor, roasting himself in commercials for Mint Mobile, trolling his wife on Instagram, and turning even business ads into comedy sketches. In one Mint Mobile commercial, he proudly announced they kept the budget low by only spending $35. Classic Reynolds. And beneath the jokes is a genuinely generous heart. Reynolds and Lively have quietly donated millions to food banks, COVID-19 relief efforts, and organizations supporting Indigenous communities in Canada. They don't brag about it, they just help. Ryan Reynolds may play larger-than-life heroes, but his real superpower is staying humble, human, and hilariously relatable. In a world full of ego excess and image, Reynolds proves that you can be Hollywood's funniest leading man without ever acting like one. Sarah Jessica Parker. You'd think the woman who played Carrie Bradshaw, the queen of high heels, designer gowns, and Manhattan glamour, would live a life dripping in luxury. But in reality, Sarah Jessica Parker is one of Hollywood's most surprisingly modest stars. With a net worth exceeding $100 million, she could have closets bigger than apartments and wardrobes worth more than small countries. Yet she chooses something refreshingly different: practicality. Unlike her on-screen persona, Parker isn't obsessed with labels or excess. She has been spotted countless times wearing vintage finds and mixing thrift store pieces with high-end fashion. She's joked that while she does own a lot of shoes, she also has a lot of children, so everything balances out. Her humble roots shaped her values. Growing up in a financially struggling family, Parker learned early the importance of stretching a dollar. She once said, "I work hard to be as depriving to my children as my mother was emphasizing experiences over luxury." For her, a day at the park beats any yacht trip. Even with her fortune, Parker and her husband, Matthew Broderick, live in a modest West Village home, elegant, but far from extravagant. She prefers walking the city, cooking at home, and staying grounded rather than indulging in Hollywood's over-the-top comforts. And although she runs a successful business with the SJP collection, Parker approaches it with the same down-to-earth spirit. Her brand reflects elegance, not excess, much like her real-life philosophy. Sarah Jessica Parker proves that you can be a global fashion icon without drowning in glamour. In a world obsessed with material excess, she stands out for choosing simplicity, authenticity, and a lifestyle rooted in real-life values, not red carpet fantasy. Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher may be one of Hollywood's most successful actors turned investors, but behind the fame, fortune, and flawless hair is a man shaped by hardship rather than luxury. With a net worth of $330 million, Kutcher could easily live like a billionaire bachelor in a glass palace overlooking Los Angeles. Yet his life choices reveal something entirely different: humility, grit, and a heart that never forgot where he came from. Before he became the charismatic star of that 70s show, and later the king of sitcom salaries at $1 million per episode, Kutcher's life was anything but glamorous. Growing up in Iowa, he battled teenage trouble brushes with the law and a home life strained by financial struggles. Those early experiences grounded him in a way Hollywood could never shake. Even after hitting it big, Kutcher resisted the typical celebrity lifestyle. Sure, he owns a $1.4 million Ferrari and a stunning $15 million Beverly Hills home, but you're just as likely to catch him driving the same old car he's had for years, blending into traffic like any other dad running errands. He doesn't flaunt wealth, he uses it. Kutcher became one of the earliest celebrity tech investors, pouring money into companies like Airbnb, Uber, and Spotify long before they became household names. These smart bets made him a multi-millionaire many times over, but he still talks like a guy who values hard work more than status. His motto, "Don't settle for what life gives you, make life better," and he lives it. In 2019, Kutcher faced one of his biggest challenges, a frightening case of vasculitis, a condition that temporarily robbed him of the ability to see, hear, and walk. The brush with mortality changed him profoundly. He became more selective with roles, more focused on family, and more devoted to using his success with purpose, not indulgence. Despite his wealth, Kutcher still champions modest living, privacy, and intention. He values experiences over possessions, authenticity over fame, and meaning over money. In a town obsessed with showing off, Ashton Kutcher stands out for something far more powerful, staying true to who he was before the millions. Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank may be a two-time Academy Award winner with a net worth of $40 million, but her life story reads less like Hollywood royalty and more like a tale of resilience, grit, and unshakable humility. Long before the Oscars, before the red carpets and global fame, Hilary was a girl from Nebraska who grew up in a trailer, dreaming far beyond the limits of her circumstances. When she moved to Los Angeles with her mother, to chase acting success didn't greet her at the door. She spent nights living in her car, auditioning by day, and surviving by determination alone. That hunger, that fire, became the foundation of the powerhouse we know today. Despite reaching the pinnacle of stardom with unforgettable performances in Boys Don't Cry and Million Dollar Baby, Swank has remained astonishingly grounded. She prefers hiking, cooking, and grocery shopping over lavish parties or diamond-studded luxuries. Even at the height of fame, she has always chosen simplicity over spectacle. Her dedication to her craft is legendary. For Million Dollar Baby, she trained like a warrior, gaining 19 pounds of pure muscle and consuming an intense 210 grams of protein a day. Yet she's the first to laugh at herself, often reminding fans, "I'm just a girl from Nebraska who got lucky." Hilary Swank may have 2 Oscars, millions in the bank, and a career built on excellence, but her heart, values, and humility remain beautifully unchanged. In a city fueled by ego, she's proof that real greatness doesn't need a spotlight. If you enjoyed this journey into Hollywood's most surprising lifestyles, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Your support helps us bring more unbelievable stories to life. See you in the next video.